Alright, the day is finally here. It's time to build out my Sony A7IV handheld rig. So in the past, when I wanted a handheld look, I was stuck doing that cradle thing that you do, and then when you want to zoom in and out, you're like, the camera's kind of shaking, and it does the job for what it is. However, a good handheld rig has a certain weight and movement and control that you just can't get out of having a naked camera body. In this video, I'm going to cover everything I ordered, why I bought it for my setup, the prices, and just kind of the initial thoughts and feel of this setup, as it all did come in today, so I can't really speak from too much experience yet, but let's just dive right into it. To start off, let's quickly go through the list of items I needed to actually build this setup. Every good setup, you gotta start with a cage. I'm obviously not rocking an FX3 or some sort of industry body that allows me to just start putting adapters and pieces into it. I can't mount handles to it, I can't do anything without the cage. It's a small rig cage, 75 bucks. It does the job, it also helps protect your camera body, so whether or not you're trying to build a handheld setup, a cage is probably not the worst idea. So moving on from the cage, let's talk about this top handle here. This one actually comes with a NATO rail adapter, it comes with the NATO rail. Most of these products I've bought from Amazon. It was a little bit cheaper than buying straight off of the small rig site. This handle ran about $36. It's treated me really well so far. I did buy it a couple months ago, so the cage, the top handle, the side handle, and the monitor, I've been running for about like 3 months now. Really liked those, and just having those for a short time on such a minimalist handheld setup really led me to going further and building out the whole rest of this. Moving forward to the side handle here, $32. It's from Small Rig as well. It comes with a nice little built-in tool on the bottom that is currently not in here, so that's ideal. But it's pretty easy to use. It's just got 2 screws, mounts right into the side of the cage. It does the job. There's better ones if you want more ergonomics, but for $32, you can't really go wrong. From there, let's move up to this OCT5 5.5-inch display. It runs for about $200 on Amazon. I believe I found a $50 coupon on it when I bought it, so you can find it for cheaper. It puts out about 1,000 nits of brightness, which compared to some of the other ones on the market is quite a bit brighter. So when you're shooting in the daytime, that's pretty crucial. I do really like this monitor so far, especially for the price point. I can preload my LUTs on here, get a good look of what my S-Log is going to look like before I actually get in post. So moving to the bottom of this setup, this base plate here is from Small Rig, again from Amazon. This was about 56 bucks. It just mounts to the bottom of your cage. Nothing crazy, but it is the foundation for the rest of this build. From there, you're going to need your 15mm carbon fiber rods. These ran me about $27 for the pair. I decided to go with Newer over Small Rig as it was a couple dollars cheaper, and I'm trying to build a budget setup, so every dollar counts. Moving to the front of the rig here, we have this Mattebox Mini Light from Small Rig again. Put your ND filters in here, your Pro Mist filter, whatever you need. This will also help block out some unnecessary light that you don't want. Right now, I don't have any of the filters, so it just blocks out some light and looks badass. It's got a bunch of different sizes for lens mounts, so you should be good for pretty much anything you want to throw at it. But yeah, this runs about 90 bucks, Amazon as well. Moving from there, we're gonna move over to the battery plate on the back here. So this plate here is about $50 on Amazon. For me, it's just holding my V-mount battery. It does nothing really more than that, just mounts to my rods that kind of come out the back. It has a ton of options for mounting other things to it, but for me right now, it's just there to hold the V-mount battery. From there, that obviously brings me to this battery. Small Rig makes one, there's a bunch of other brands that make them. This one is Newer, so it gives me the info I need. It's roughly the same size as the other ones. It's a little bit cheaper. I think the Small Rig one runs closer to $400, but I might be off on that. This one was about $188. It has the D-tap to power my monitor. It's got Type C, it's got Type A, it's got 8 volt, it's got 12 volt. It gives you the information. It still has the peel on it. Satisfying. All right, so next is the Small Rig Mini Follow Focus wheel here. You can use it for focus, you can use it for zoom. It works either way. For me, it's more beneficial on the zoom, Just when you're kind of locked in here, trying to get your hand into the setup to try and zoom in and out is a bit of a hassle. So just having the wheel to be able to pull your shot in and out as you need and keep your shot steady is really crucial. If you're mounted on a tripod, if you're set up on a monopod, moving around, it's just a lot easier to get your zooms in and out without looking choppy and shaky. Does a great job. $100, Amazon as well. From there, we're gonna move up to the dual-sided NPF battery here. This is pretty crucial because it runs straight into the V-mount battery here through a D-tap. This is great. I don't have to worry about my monitor dying. The D-tap and the V-mount will keep this thing running. The cool thing about this one, however, is that it is double-sided. So if I'm ever running a live stream, I can power my transmitter or receiver or whatever through here, send it back to the guys running the setup, and it's easy peasy. I don't need more batteries, don't need more power. This thing will run both. $60, Amazon does a great job. The only other things that I'm missing are my HDMI cable. I ordered a coiled braided one for about $30. That hasn't come in yet. It should treat me nice. It runs with little 90-degree angles on it. This one just runs straight out and gets in the way of my hand. So the last piece of this setup, not very crucial, but is kind of nice. I got this little 10-pack of these little rubber HDMI port stoppers. I took off my cover here. It gets in the way of just kind of some of the other cables. It sticks down straight out normally, but with like 3 screws, you can pop it off, just take that piece out. However, then your HDMI port is a little bit exposed when you're not running a monitor. So these just pop in there, keep dust out, keep dirt out, helps keep the port fresh for longer, and I don't have to worry about that flap. So that is key. The whole setup runs at about $990 before any savings you might find through Amazon. That's kind of just base prices. So it's sub $1,000 to get yourself a monitor, the cage, the whole rig, which really isn't crazy. You can go a lot higher from there. You can also go cheaper and ditch some of these options. You don't necessarily need a V-mount. You don't necessarily need a matte box and some of these other things if you're just trying to get a better hold on your camera. They're just nice things to have. However, I am really looking forward to shooting on it. It feels really great so far. Again, everything did come in today, so I'm looking forward to giving a review once I've spent a little bit more time with this setup. Feels good, it's sturdy. I like having this zoom. I like having my monitor so close. I like the feel that it gives. Plus, if you just give me 1 second here, if you go throw one of these bad boys on with this rig, there's nowhere that you can't go. You're at a concert, you're going to the front row. If you're at some sort of like game or whatever it might be that you're trying to get into, you're getting away with it with this thing. No more media passes, you don't need nothing. Also, the balance of this thing with this setup, crazy. It's perfectly centered. It's everything you could ask for. I'm so stoked. This is gonna be sick. But that about wraps up my video for today. We've covered everything for my setup. All of the products I've mentioned will be listed in the description below. If you're interested in buying anything, it'll be right there for you. If you have any questions or if I've missed something, if you have your own setup and you're like, Ryan, you need to have this as part of your setup, let me know in the comments. I'm looking to develop this thing further. But for now, thanks for taking the time. Appreciate you. Keep on creating, keep putting new things in this world and have fun doing it. Thanks for taking the time. I will catch you in the next one. Pieces.